Hey guys, what's up? It's Kevin for the win, and we're back for another edition of Dreadscape Gaming. Today on the channel, we're going to be talking about hunting horns. This hunting horn set that you see here, we are not going to be using for now, but we are going to show you probably the most optimal build for the hunting horn using the Rampage Agito level 5. So this is probably the go-to hunting horn. As you can see here, the attack is 264 when we put this build completely together. Defense is nothing to scoff at as well. So what do we get? We get attack boost level 7, handcraft level 3, speed sharpening level 3, weakness exploit level 2, slugger level 2, laden power level 1, horn maestro level 1, which is the highest level that goes, stun resistant, and flinch free. And we also have a hell cloak, not that that's going to come in too handy here. So here is the skills. As you can see, attack level 7, so we have the maximum potential of plus 10 attack as well as a plus 10 bonus, so basically 20% attack. Handcraft will maintain our sharpness, speed sharpening to make things good and nice and sharp quickly. Slugger for KO potential, horn maestro to just help out with our songs. As you can see, this build is very powerful, but what makes it really broken is when you optimize your Rampage Hunting Horn and you give it actually the healing melody level 2, you will have access to melodies such as health recovery, L, health regeneration, and earplugs, L. If people in groups online see you running this horn, you will be their best friend, basically, because this will give them lots of heals and lots of quality of life improvements for their hunt. So, we're using Zinogre Helm, which will give us laden power level 1, weakness exploit level 1. We're using Hunter's Mail S, so we can get attack boost and handcraft, as well as a decent gem slot. Sinister Gauntlets, this way we can get a handcraft level 2, as well as an attack boost because we use the gem slot position. And Janam Coil S, that way we can get attack boost and slugger on here. Hunter's Greave, again, this is mostly for attack boost, and just because it has an extra level 2 slot that you can kind of, work specific things in depending on what you want. My recommendation, I would go Demon Petulance level 3 as opposed to the newer one, so you could get a little bit more attack out of this. Weakness Exploit and Slugger on my Talisman. As you can see, with the gem slot, I have a level 3 Talisman gem slot here, so that's why I got kind of a good roll here. Primarily, you would prefer a Weakness Exploit level 2, but because it had the extra slot that I really need, I'm going to rock with it. Hunting Horn is kind of an interesting weapon in the sense that it's not necessarily high tier. It has been kind of optimized a bit to be more user-friendly than previous installments of Monster Hunter. I'm going to try my best to explain the very many mechanics of the Hunting Horn, so bear with me here. I am not a Hunting Horn main, but I am familiar enough with the weapon to show you basically people who are trying to get their feet wet with the Hunting Horn as to a pretty solid build so that you can build upon the foundation for greatness on your own even. So that's just kind of the things we do on this particular channel. Okay, so for the purpose of this demonstration, I want to use monsters that have very big faces so I can show you the aspects in which the Hunting Horn excels at. Hunting Horn is kind of a lot like the hammer in the sense that it has very high potential to KO. The only difference between it and the hammer is it's a little bit faster and also plays songs. So as you see, every time you hit a button, in this case it's the X button, and you actually play a melody. I'm not going to play the melodies just yet because it is too near me. But as you see here, when you hit the ZR button, when you have melodies that have been played on your Hunting Horn, which is basically attacking, and hit ZR, those buffs automatically get activated with the Hunting Horn. Now, one thing you could do is if you go blue, red, green, which would be X, A, and then X and A together, and then hit ZR, you will get this special combination in which you can not only play the song, but also do an additional rotation of the attack. Now, from my experience, sometimes messing around with the combination, you can unlock something that's called the Inferno Melody, which does a bit more damage. So primarily, with the Hunting Horn, what you want to do is target the face and play your notes when you see that it is in your benefit. Like, if you see, obviously, that you need to heal, you play the X button, and then you play the ZR button, or you play all 3 of the notes together, because that will play all of them. See how I just got my earplugs back, as well as healed up a bit here. So, and I keep maintaining my health regeneration as well, which is what this horn does well and excels at. So that's one thing that is the benefit here. So for all intents and purposes, Hunting Horn is a very good support weapon. It's great for supporting online hunts where you have a bunch of your buddies and you basically kind of want to play, for all intents and purposes, like a healer class. That's what it does. That's what it excels at greatly. Also, it's pretty good in the sense that, as you see here, when you get the triple combo going and you have multiple rotations of the attack, you have very high potential of stunning the monster and KOing them. I would even argue, if possible, maybe try to get Slugger maxed out on this set, so that way you can get the maximum potential to stun lock the monsters that you're fighting here. Trying to knock it down here, as you see here. Now, one of the things with Hunting Horn is it's faster than the hammer, but there's no charge attacks. Another thing is, as you see here, we got Fortune. It's already exhausted thanks to Slugger, so we're going to play the notes and do the triple combo. We're just going to target the face. We were able to KO it there, so it's stunned. Now we're just going to wail on the face a bit. We don't really have to play heal because we're maxed out, so we're just going to kind of wail on it. If you can, do this combo. As you see here, it does a lot of damage, and sometimes you can follow it up with the Inferno Melody attack. So you definitely want to try to do that as well. I am using Echo as the skill bind. It's very important to use that. The other skill bind that's in place of Echo is pretty much trash for all intents and purposes for Hunting Horn. So as you can see, this is basically a support build that will help you maintain sharpness. If you wanted to, you could take off the non-elemental damage for sharpness. I believe it's 2 or 1, so you could get a little bit more blue sharpness. In my personal experience, most of the time you're really not going to need to do that because you already have Handcraft, which means that it maintains sharpness a bit longer. You could also run Razor Sharp, and you would just fix that problem out as well. So there's multiple ways that you can kind of optimize the build. As you see, since we've been hitting it a lot in the face with the weapon, it's drooling. That's basically what you call exhaust. Weapons that do this are Hunting Horn, Hammer, Shield, and Sword, because they excel with the Slugger abilities, usually when you put them on armor, to stun the monster. And after a while of just hitting the face constantly with a blunt weapon, can't do this with like sword weapons particularly, but because Sword and Shield has the shield, which is Shield Bash, you can do. I have a really good Sword and Shield build that we just recently covered on the channel with the High Ninja Blade. Definitely make sure to check that out in the playlist for Monster Hunter Rise in case you haven't checked that one out, because that's a goodie. Alright, so we got the Turf War going. Did a lot of damage here. We'll swing for more damage. It's going to do its third final attack. We do 80 here. Alright, we're going to position ourselves right near the face. We are going to try to play all our notes here because we want to get the triple buff and get everything going. So we play the song. We do all that whirlwind damage on the face. All the buffs kicked in. Obviously, health recovery L. Healed us up a little bit as well. That one doesn't gray out when you do it because that skill or song is always active, as in you can always activate it. The other ones, once you activate them, you just gotta kind of keep an eye on their cooldown. That's pretty much how you basically will run the Hunting Horn. It's a lot easier than previous games. Previous games, you had to use a lot more button combinations to get some of these songs to play, and it would be very, very complex to say the very least. So they have streamlined the Hunting Horn, which is much kudos to basically the Monster Hunter team for that. Development team definitely hit it on the nail there. Another thing, particularly with the Hunting Horn, is that obviously you don't have a counter with this weapon. You can't counter. You can cancel out of the animation, obviously, by hitting ZR, but the problem is if you go a little too combo heavy, by the time you get in to play the music note, so it's a ZR button, chances are you're going to get hit out of things, so keep that in mind. Honestly, you could even kind of invest a little bit more in Brace so that you're not staggered as much, but with Hunting Horn, it's really a matter of maintaining your buffs and trying to stay very centered towards the face. You want to probably be near the face as much as possible, obviously, because this is Monster Hunter and the monsters don't naturally stay still. There will be situations where that might not be the most optimal, so it's a matter of obviously positioning and learning where you need to be positioned to be able to do optimal damage. And obviously you need to be very close when you hit this triple combo of ZRX, because the monsters can hit you out of that. You're not like impervious to attack, so that's kind of unfortunate. The good thing is you can kind of hold on to it for a little bit and then build up your combo. I'm going to use it here because obviously. And the other thing is when you're doing the combo, you actually do take a couple of back steps, so it's in your benefit to try to be as close as possible. This particular note that you can play, or skill bind, is actually pretty good because you can get always, usually if you aim for the face, a nice somewhere between 248 to 348 damage if you get the note off as well, so it's kind of worth it. The problem is you do use up 2 wire bugs, which gives you kind of a little bit of a disadvantage in the sense that you won't be able to dodge with your bug. So keep that in mind with the wire bug. So there you go. That was the ankle sim. The good thing about this particular hunting horn is that because you're healing up so much, and you also got, obviously, earplugs L, which is probably about level 3 quality earplugs, you can kind of protect yourself from roars, and you can constantly heal up. So much so that, like, when you're attacking and then you're playing the notes, you even get health regen that you really, with this build, don't have to even worry so much about using as many mega potions as you would with some of the herb melee weapons. Obviously, this weapon is really catered towards working with a group of 4, because you will just basically play utility support, and if you're playing with other people that realize that hunting horn is where they can get the most damage to the face, and as long as they move away from you and let you just handle the face, you can all pretty much do pretty good hunting times with this particular weapon. Another thing about the Rampage Hunting Horn 5 is that I don't think this is actually the final level for this hunting horn. I have a feeling in the 3.0 update, they will actually probably bring it up another level or 2. Pretty sure we have like 2 more Apex monsters coming, which will probably be some of the older deviants. So I wouldn't be too surprised there if we get more levels for it. So this is like a work in progress. You could also use but you would have to use the Comfort Horn build, which I'll cover maybe in a future installment down the line. That's the Magna Malo one, but you won't get as many heals and as many buffs. This is probably the one that has the best song. Alright guys, so we're back. This time around, we are going to be fighting a Raffian monster, a flying type monster. That way, we will be able to demonstrate how well the hunting horn fares against flying type of monsters. So, same strategy as before. We do have the benefit of the fact that the Raffian tends to roar a lot, and we have a horn that actually plays earplugs, so we kind of can hard check her depending. Like with the previous showcase, what we want to do is maintain the damage to the head. One thing you can do is probably, before you get even into the battle, play your notes. That way you can just get all your buffs from the start. Self-improvement is one of those things that I believe gives you a little bit of an attack and defense buff. I'm not 100% sure in regards to that mechanic, because unfortunately, when it comes to Monster Hunter Rise, it's not very well described in the weapon manuals and tutorials. So, okay, we found the Raffian. This is going to be very simple. We're going to go and swing, obviously keeping the head. Since we have earplugs automatically available, we are able to kind of hard check her in the roars. So, right now, what we're going to be doing is swinging the weapon left and right. Always trying to maintain that triple note thing. We are going to flash bomb interval here, so we can kind of take advantage of her weakness in the air to flash bombs, and it gives us more potential to be able to aim at the head and get KOs, as you just saw there. All right, so far so good. Let's swing this weapon around a bit. We're not going to really worry too much about healing here, because we do have constant health recovery L going on, thanks to the healing melody that is available on the Rampage weapon. So, that's one of the things to keep in mind. Flash bomb here, bring her down. Alright, now we're going to target the face again. Remember, because this is a blunt weapon, primarily what you want to do is stand near or close to the head where you can get swings going. So you can swing for, like, 75, 100, 80. Sometimes 46 is not very good. I was swinging on the face there. So, also keep in mind when you're hitting with the yellow spots, that means you're hitting weak points and doing the optimal amount of damage possible. Alright, I'm going to stand under the leg. And I'm trying to play the triple note, but I want to be very close so that way you can kind of get... Remember, with the hunting horn, it's about positioning, guys. You have to kind of position yourself ideally towards the head, and so when you do the triple play song that you do with the ZR and X button, that you're able to just get the combo off and get all parts of the combo. Looks like we ran into a turf war here, so we're just going to get some free hits on her. Alright. Let's ride the Azoros. Alright. Now, like I said before, you kind of want to do these minigames because not only do you get a lot of shiny drops, sometimes potentially rare ones, like a plate or a gem, but you also do a significant amount of damage to the monster. As you see, 118, 116, 194. And then when you do the mounted attacks, you should be swinging a little bit more, at least for the follow-through attack. Swing 74, swing 74. Let's see what happens here, guys. All right, 91 attack. Okay, same thing here. Now we're going to swing on the head, trying to maintain. Now we'll do skill bind because it's down. Look at that damage. We got 238 attacks over, and we also were able to stun it again. Keep in mind that Hunting Horn is really good at part breaking because it's a blunt weapon. So definitely if you want to get some part breaks super easily and fast, this is kind of your go-to weapon for that. Obviously, you always have to kind of have dibs on the head, so if you're playing in a group, keep that in mind. If you're playing with Hunting Horn users, usually, unless you are a weapon that can kind of KO the head or stun or exhaust, chances are you want to kind of give up the head to people who are using blunt weapons as opposed to you. A lot of people online are usually using ranged weapons at the moment because that's the, I want to say easy route, but it makes hunting quite faster and kind of not necessarily cheap, but a bit more effective. Melee weapons are not as welcomed online, unfortunately. All right, so swing down. I'm going to... Oh, I was going to hit with that, and she moved out of the way, so that's kind of unfortunate. All right, so we're going to play some songs so we can get some recovery going. We got health regen, so we don't have to worry about using up a potion. I'm going to sharpen my weapon. If we weren't running handcraft on this, we probably would have already been in yellow or orange sharpness, which is no good for the Rampage Horn. You could also, in theory, if you wanted to, take off the non-elemental attack boost from your Rampage skills and give it a sharpness 2 or 1. That way you could get, I think it's sharpness 2. That'll give you, no, sharpness 2 gives you green. Sharpness 1 gives you a little bit more blue at the expense of less green. So it really depends on what you want to do with it. Obviously, sharpness 1 you could run, but I don't think you're really going to need it because you already have handcraft to kind of maintain that you're going to get a little bit more out of your blue sharpness anyway. So I would go for that attack boost. As you see, the monster now has taken a lot of hits to the head. It is drooling. What that means for those of you who are not familiar or maybe new to Monster Hunter is that the monster is exhausted. This will allow us to do a lot of attacks to it. In particular with like the Raffian and other monsters that fire out fire or shoot out a beam. It cannot shoot out the beam when it is exhausted because it just doesn't have the power to do it. So we're going to get another knockdown that we got here. We're going to go for the skill bind attack again. Let's play the extra note. We did 348 attack again. We'll swing downward here. So with Hunting Horn, always kind of maintain these health notes and maintain your earplugs and always aim for the head. And when you can get a trip or two going, definitely do it. When the monster's down, definitely try to go for your wirebug skill where you just throw the Hunting Horn at it and then play the extra note. That's guaranteed 248, 348 damage on the build the way we are running it. Let's get the triple attack out. All right, that's good. Swing downward here. We tripped it up. That's also kind of good for these particular monsters. With the Hunting Horn, you can kind of get some trips on the monster. The only problem is you will also trip your partners, which is extremely frowned upon online as well. All right, let's go downward strike. We stunned it a little bit. Let's go skill bind because it is still exhausted. Let's play the note again. All right, we did 348. You see it's blue, and we are able to mount it. Let's mount it. This Raffian is about to go down, so let's bash into there. All right, pretty good. All right, let's throw it down. We have 2 Wirebugs, so we could actually do the attack again. Let's get it right here. Let's play the note. Let's do another 348 because you can't get that up. Another good thing is it's kind of stuck in place thanks to the mount minigame that we did. So let's just swing. Get the triple song playing just so I can get the earplugs and health gen back up. She's still exhausted, so let's just keep bashing the face. You can get the combo going. We tripped her. We KO'd her. This is basically what the Hunting Horn excels at doing. It's not the fastest weapon in the game, but it is the best support weapon. It is really good at KOing. And if you play basically the Rampage Horn, you will have heals and heals for days where you won't have to waste your potions, which can come in very handy. And also online play, you help everybody out at the same time. So definitely this is a more multiplayer-friendly weapon, but it does have some applications for it in offline play as well. Although there are obviously better blunt weapons that can do things a bit more effectively and maintain KOs or get KOs faster. That being the sword and shield, particularly the high blade one, I think works very well for that. Alright guys, so let's see what the clear time is here. That was very fast for this Raffian, so I would not be in the least bit shocked if we see probably a sub 7 minute clear time in a group of 4. If we were staying that effective, probably we would even do like a 3 minutes clear time for. Obviously, it depends on the people's armors and their skills that they're using, as well as their skill level, like with anything. And as always, you know, this is just a recommendation from me. You can take your own spin on it. Feel free to leave your own spins on this particular set build in the comments. Obviously, this is also very dependent on getting a decent or good talisman with slots and the skills that you would generally desire to run on the hunting horn. So, as always, just a recommendation, not necessarily you must play it like this, but you could also go Affinity Horn, but that would require a different build. So we got a 7 minute clear time, 7:35 seconds. Thanks for watching. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so, and I will see you on Monday for the next Monster Hunter Rise video.